Today's episode is what trust has to do with next level results. Hello and welcome to the Successful, Sensitive and Intuitive Entrepreneur podcast. My name is Lydia Sophia Wilmsen and I am an intuitive success mentor for sensitive entrepreneurs. In this podcast, I speak about the challenges sensitive and intuitive entrepreneurs face. I offer you new perspectives and solutions, as well as experiences of other entrepreneurs. Plus, I speak about my personal experience of being a highly sensitive person who has successfully built and scaled 2 businesses. All of that with the goal to make you and your business even more successful in your very unique and authentic way. Have fun and enjoy. You're listening to my podcast because you have desires, because you want something more in your business and in your life. You are inspired by having big goals, by having your business grow, by achieving more in your life and being an inspiration for other people. And you want all of that as a highly sensitive person, as an empath, and probably a rather introverted soul. So you want to know, how can I do that? You are on your path of business growth, of personal growth. And what does trust have to do with that? Trust is a powerful ingredient for shifting quickly. Because yes, we all have desires, but some people achieve their results rather quickly. And some people are busy with getting there for ages. And you want it quickly, of course, as I do. We have our desires, we want to get there, and that's it. And trust is a powerful ingredient for exactly that, for quantum leaping again and again, and then for staying there instead of falling back again. And I have spoken a lot about the 4 levels of consciousness. There is even a whole episode on that. So go further back in some of the earlier episodes. You'll find a whole podcast episode on that, where I speak about different levels of consciousness, and trust is on a specific level. Trust is not part of all the 4 levels. There is to-me consciousness. And by the way, I didn't come up with the concept. You can learn more about that, as I said, when you re-listen to the old episode on that topic. There is to-me consciousness, by-me consciousness, through-me consciousness, and as-me consciousness. And I think it's a beautiful, beautiful concept for, really clarifying or for deeply or for describing this idea of quantum leaping. So instead of going slowly, how can you go and how can you shift quickly? What are the 4 levels? What are the differences between them? To-me consciousness is the one where you basically reside in victim consciousness. Everything is happening to you. You are at the mercy of everything that happens to you. And obviously, you can't shift very quickly because you are at the mercy of other people and at the mercy of your circumstances. You are a victim. So in that consciousness, you don't really create your desires because you are not a conscious creator in that level. The next one then is by-me consciousness. And as the word already says, everything happens by me. Like I am doing the work. And that is a consciousness where most of our society, of our Western society, resides in. It's the hustle world, it's the hardworking mentality, it's this mentality of I have to do it alone and I have to have lots of willpower and then I get that stuff done. And you do get a lot of done in that level. However, it also costs you a lot. And in the end, it will have you burned out. It will have you with health issues, with issues in your family, in your relationships. So it comes with a very high cost. And there is a cap to it. There is a cap to it because there is only you, and you can only go as far as your willpower and your strength lasts you. After that, you are done and your results are done, basically. So that consciousness means I do something and I create, I do A and I create B results. It is very linear. It is very reciprocal. So that means I put in to get out the equal amount. And depending on what I do, this is what the results are that I create. It is very strategic. It is very logical based. It is based on logic. Everything has to make sense. It's the realm of logic and making sense. And as I said, you can get a lot of stuff done on that level. However, where the real next level power lies is the next level, and that is through me consciousness. This is the consciousness where quantum leaps happen, where things happen that are beyond logic, that are beyond reason, beyond sense. It is basically more like magic. Magic happens, even though it's not magic. And a huge ingredient on that level is flow states. Be in flow. Surrender to your desires. Following your intuition. Trusting the process. Trusting your desires. A deep knowingness. So the difference between by me and through me is that you give up control in through me consciousness. By me consciousness is all about having control, and through me consciousness is stepping into deep knowingness. Those are my desires. Those are mine. I am going to make them a reality. How? I don't know. I trust the process. I trust my intuition. I trust the glimpses and the ideas, the inspired ideas on the way. I follow them with deep trust because of that inner knowingness that this is mine. And this is where quantum leaps happen. There is a fourth level that is as me consciousness. I won't go further into that today because it's more like an kind of enlightened Buddha stage or Buddha state. And the very important one for today really is through me consciousness. And you have also heard me speak about the bridging period. And that is the time between having a desire, having an intention, and the physical realization of that desire. Like the intention becoming a physical reality. And to bridge that, you need to have trust. If you don't trust that it's going to happen, it will not happen. And trust means that you understand that you are in two different modalities. Either it's the moment that you receive your desires, it's the moment that they become a truth, a physical reality, or it is the moment before. That's all. There are two different states. Either the moment you receive your desires or the moment you are before that. Because obviously after they have become a physical reality, it is done. You don't even think about it anymore. But we are speaking about that stage before it has manifested, before it is a physical reality. Because this is where you have to have trust. You don't need trust once it already has realized itself. It is already there. You don't have to trust, you just have to look. So in that stage where you don't have your desires yet, trust is the biggest catalyst out there. So either you understand it's either the moment before or the moment that you receive. There are only two states. That's all. The big question obviously now is how to practice that, how to step more into trust, how to do that. You can obviously practice where you're already good at, like where is it easy? And you can also practice where it's difficult. And there are different types of trust. You can trust in self. You can trust in your own intuition. So it has to do with you. It's very personal. It means deep trust in yourself instead of self-doubt. Then you can trust in others, not in you, in others. So that's interpersonal. And then you can trust in the system. You can trust in the container, in the tech, in the support. So it does not have to do anymore with people, you or others. It has to do with the technical or with the system, with the container. So those are basically 3 levels or 3 different areas of trust. And we are all different. Some of us are really good in trusting ourselves and no one else. Others are really not good in trusting themselves. They are really good in trusting others. And some of them are not good in trusting themselves nor others. They want a system and they trust in the system, whether it makes sense or not, by the way. And it doesn't really matter. You can practice those in different areas of your life. It does not only have to do with business. Of course, in business, you can trust in yourself and you can trust in other people, in your clients, in your mentors, in your coaches, in other colleagues. Like you can practice with trusting other people. And you can trust in the system, in the business you have built, in the system behind your business, in the container, like what is your business? You can trust in that. And you can obviously go into the relationship area. There is you, there is another, and there is the relationship itself. And you could be not trusting in yourself nor in the other person, but you could be very trustful when it goes or when it is about relationships. Like, I trust that relationships work. I trust that I am going to make this relationship work. So whatever it is that you are trustful of, use that in the moment. You will find something. And it could even be a higher power. Like trust in others, trust in a system, trust in a higher power. You could even put this on top. And obviously, in order to practice that, use something where it's easy for you and do more of that. Like if it is really easy for you to trust yourself and not super easy to trust others, do more things where you can practice and see the evidence of trusting yourself. So if you're really good with your intuition and following through, ask your intuition more often, even for tiny things. And for example, for you, it's super easy to trust other people. Yeah, get more guidance, get more support through coaches. Ask your friends more often, your partner. Like use that, what comes easy to you already, and do more of that. And with the difficult ones, like if it's not easy for you to trust others, go tiny steps, go baby steps. Do like tiny things and see it as being safe. Like see what happens, see the evidence. You're still okay. It worked out. And collect the evidence of those baby steps that it is working. And you have to understand, like trust is more a feminine flow. Like when we speak about archetypal energies, trust is a feminine energy. Trust and flow are feminine archetypes. Feminine energy is feminine energy, or is seen as feminine energy. And then you need something to trust. You need that what you trust. Like you can trust, that's the feminine. And then that what you trust, that is the masculine when we speak in archetypal energies. I'm not speaking about the gender. And that is then the container. Or it could be the other. You trust someone. Trust itself is the feminine. And then you have something that you're trustful of. That is the masculine. It could be a partner. It could be the system, the container, the containing energy. Or even trusting yourself, then that is the masculine containing energy in you. So they play beautifully together. And you can already see if we are too much leaning into the masculine as our society is. Again, as I said, in an archetypal energy form, or like in a way of seeing it as an archetypal energy. Yeah, we are very much leaning onto that masculine and forgetting about trust, about the feminine. And this is what most of us can hone in even more. And you will find something, like with the 3 different areas that I gave you, actually 4 areas, you will find something to practice. And the more you do that, the more you lean into trust, you use a power that most of the people out there are not using. And this is what creates massive results. And there will be points, especially in the bridging period, where you are before the physical realization or the physical manifestation of that, what you desire, where you fall into mistrust, where you fall into doubt, into self-doubt, into doubting the system, the container, the higher power, the other person. And this is where you have to basically pull yourself back and step again into trust. It is a huge practice, and it's almost a spiritual practice that you're doing there. And from trusting comes different action. If you actually trusted that it works out, that if you actually trusted that you are going to make those 50K months, you would take different action. You would invest differently. You would get different support. You would make different decisions. The same if you trusted in another person. For example, just let's take relationships. If you trusted that other person, you would show up in a different way, in a different energy. Like most of the issues we have happening, like in every areas of our lives, are because we don't trust. And we haven't learned that. Then, of course, I could go much deeper, which I don't want to today, into why this is happening. It for sure has to do with early on childhood memories, early on childhood conditioning. We are not learning to trust because trust is broken very early on. So this is something you have to step in later on, basically now. Where can you lean more into trust? What actions would you take if you fully trusted? And by the way, there is no guarantee. That trust is paying out. Like there is no guarantee. The guarantee, like trust, basically means that you are giving up control and you are trusting without evidence. That is pure trust. And the only evidence, by the way, you will ever need is that you have a specific desire. If you have the desire to grow your business to XYZ, this is the only evidence you ever need that this can be your reality. You having the desire is only there because it can become a reality. Otherwise, it wouldn't be there. And of course, people then say like, but I want to fly, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's not a true desire. And I can tell you, if you had the desire and the trust, like the deep desire, if your like purpose of life was to fly and you had the trust, you would beam yourself into a different reality and would make it happen. But like, that's a little joke aside, you know? If people say something like, but then people can learn to walk again. Yeah, there are people who are actually doing that. There are people who had accidents and they learned to walk again, even though science said it wasn't possible. They had like something happen to their spine that it was actually not possible again to learn for them again to ever walk again. And they did. So there are scenarios out there of people who had this as their biggest desire and they made it happen. And there are desires, if you really asked people, it's like something you say, but it's not a true desire. So I really want you to think about the deepest desires you have. They can become a reality. And for that, you need to step into trust. So practice with that, what comes easy to you already. Do more of that and practice with that what's difficult for you and go baby steps there. So I really hope that this episode today resonated with you and that it gives you a push forward to lean more into trust. And I really want to finish with this last reminder of, one of the coaches I follow who said, it's either the moment you receive your desires, the moment that your desires become a reality, or it is the moment before. And the big question for you is, how do you show up in the moment before? Because this is basically moment to moment to moment. It's not how you show up once it has been done. No, because this can be any moment. Any moment can be the moment where your desires become a reality. So it is really the big question, how do you show up in the moment before? Because it could become the moment where you receive. And I hope that this gives you another gentle nudge to put even more effort and even more desire and fun into doing the inner work, because that's the foundation you build everything else on. And if you're ready to get yourself supported on that, I have my Accelerate and Thrive program where I help you shift from hustle to ease and inner peace while massively accelerating your business results, and only 3 months. My program is 3 months long. It is amazing. How do I help you there? I help you through building the strongest mental, emotional, and strategic foundation you've ever had in your business and life. So they are a pure transformation. If you want to know more about that, and if you just want to talk to me and see what your next step could be in general, sign up for a 15-minute free call with me, a Mindset Catalyst call, and you'll find the link to that in my show notes. Much love to you, and thank you for listening to today's episode. Until the next one. Did you like this podcast episode? Then I would be super, super grateful if you gave me a 5-star rating and review on iTunes. Super helpful. And please subscribe to the podcast and share it with people who you know can benefit from it. You can find all links to my social media profiles, my website, and contact form in the show notes. And whenever you're ready to take a next step, and that means you want to live a life of more on all levels, then send me a message with where you want to go and what is keeping you where you are, like what keeps you stuck at the moment. And then I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you for listening, and until the next episode, much love to you, Lydia.